Hey
Okay.
everybody, welcome back to Trans Gurus. Christian here, and the team, everybody's here. Thank you for tuning in for another good episode. Tonight we're going to be talking about the power of belief and what belief can do for you in your life. Our own lives, our own testimonies, is a direct reflection of our power belief within ourselves and our abilities and capabilities. And we're all going to go around and talk about our own experiences with that. So, for my own experience, I like to think of when I was transitioning and the moments before I knew that I was going to, I guess, like the threshold, like right before um, I was going to manifest everything that I wanted, I would just think about the result that I wanted and how I thought it would make me feel, and always dwell on that and make sure that I aligned my actions with those thoughts. And the more I dwelled upon it, I got more and more inspired to move forward. Um, but what about what about you, Shannon? The power of belief.
Uh,
How has,
uh,
how has that impacted you?
the power of belief is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's what do we believe in? What do we stand for? Our belief is the foundation from which we live our lives. What we believe from everything. It transcends all all parts of human existence. You know, uh, what do we believe in ourselves? What do we believe our life is about? The word belief it's a very powerful word. What we believe in. We believe in the United States of America, or I believe in freedom. I believe in this, or I believe in that. So these are all the word belief is the 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 forum from which we can mold ourselves, and for a transgender person to have such belief in themselves to take action. uh, the, the belief in self. Before we can believe in anything else, we got to believe in ourselves. And I back in this is like maybe 7 years ago, I competed in some physique competitions, and I was asked to write a guest editorial in a fitness magazine, and it has to do with belief. And I want to read it. It just takes a second. Just hang on here. I got it right here. I believe we can all benefit from a positive lifestyle. Try to learn the immense value of discipline and commitment. Eat clean foods, engage in daily exercise, and nurture the spirit, rest the body. We empower ourselves by establishing goals, by exceeding our own self-perceived limits. This gives us enormous strength, increases confidence, and improves our self-esteem. Dream, and then dream some more. This stimulates our imagination, produces possibilities, unlocks our mind, and expands our world. Be inspired by the prospect of a better tomorrow. This gives us vision and fuels motivation for continued self-improvement. Maintain unwavering faith in our true selves. This fosters self-respect, confirms our worth, establishes our identity, and validates our destiny. Understand and respect the laws of nature, the ebb and flow of life, and the position of others. This eliminates conflict, creates harmony, keeps us grounded, and defines our moral constitution. Almost done. Believe in the power of intention. Believe in the power of intention. Action is precluded by thought. Acknowledge the existence of opposing forces. This is what we spoke about last week. Acknowledge the existence of opposing forces. Master how to recognize, harness, and balance both. Realize that adversity builds character. In the absence of struggle, humans flounder. Value time, as this is our greatest asset. How much we have is finite, fleeting, and unknown. Do not confuse activity with accomplishment. Forgiveness equates to freedom. Embrace the concept of reciprocation, as this is the only way to true happiness. Celebrate the success of others more than our own. These principles enable us to recognize our own potential, give us passion, promote action, cultivate stability, enhance vitality, allow for inner peace, and in many ways make us whole. Our spirits flourish when all this actually happens. In our life pursuit, all things are possible. All you got to do is believe. And that's my 30 seconds. I love you all. Back to you, Christian.
Wow, oh my God, that was
Very deep.
very powerful. That was
Thank you.
one of the most powerful editorials they ever had. It's mostly
Well, thank you.
probably getting editorials about like fitness and stuff, but that transcends from just talking about fitness. That's a message that dives deeper, and it touches on multi levels.
It's the mind, body, and spirit. So this is the example I use. To have fire, you need fuel, like a wood or something. You need ignition, like a lighter, and you need air. No matter how much you have of two, if you don't have all three, you're not going to have fire. So same with a balanced,
It's like ingredients.
a balanced human experience, mind, body, and spirit. Know how much you have of two. If you don't have a balance of all three, you're gonna wobble. So these are principles and ideas and concepts to help us achieve maximum stability of all three of those elements of the human existence: the mind, body, and spirit.
It's almost like driving with only 3 wheels on your car. You know, like some people live like they only are driving with sometimes only 2.
Okay.
So,
And some are going backwards.
what'd you say, Bonnie?
They call those motorcycles.
Oh yeah. And some people can drive on a unicycle. Yeah, that really spoke to me, Shannon. Like that, you know, you kind of like brought to life what this topic, like what we're here to talk about this, you know, what we're here tonight to discuss with the power of belief. And I'm really happy that you brought that out and shared that with us. You know, just before we got on to the show, we were just talking with Ella and how she's, you know, moving forward with her book, and you know, that didn't just drop out of the sky. You know, like that had to have been, you know, the results and manifestation of the preparation that came, you know, beforehand that people don't see. Unless it's different, Ella. Are you special? Do you just have luck like that? Do I need to bring you with me to the casino and then we could just, you know, go get the lottery? Is it just luck? Is the power of belief BS, or you know, tell us with your example.
Power of belief for me comes with dreams, comes with a metaphysical idea of progressing. And, you know, in the old times, meaning many centuries ago, there was this kind of secret idea that only very, very special people knew about them. and they call it the secrets of life. And actually, it was nothing else than the power of belief. And that's how people evolution,
Surprise.
civilization went forward, because people believe, because people dream, because people go in front of us, and they they are positive to become. Yes, we transgender have to go through that too, because you have to believe in yourself first. It's so important to believe in yourself, because you start to understand yourself, you start to transition, and you start to bloom. And that's what is all about being a transgender person. Anyway, is really admitting in yourself. Unfortunately, there is probably, we are in the beginning of that, but there is no test right now which tells you are a transgender. It's only what's inside of you which tells you.
So there's
So,
an external thing that people can base or like measure themselves with. Like they basically
correct.
have no choice but to follow their own feeling
Your own
and
feelings, absolutely. It is changing, because apparently there can be some tests on your brain which actually tells you that you are transgender or not. But okay, that
I
science
heard
is
you had
not.
to be dead for those though, in order to get that.
No, they can scan it to you. They can scan.
Just like slice your head all the way around. And it's like
No. They just scan it.
Roll
They make a
soup.
kind of a tomography of your brain, and they can find out exactly what you're made of. No, but okay,
And
that
that's
is
and that's
something which.
called the inner. I'm sorry. That's called it. That's our inner compass.
Yeah,
Everyone's got one.
yeah.
Our
But
inner
that's
compass.
yeah, but you see,
Dua
even if you have an inner
Ambasada.
compass, you have to trust your compass. You have to believe in your compass. You have to believe in yourself. And that is what is very difficult for many people to find. But dream, belief, it's a metaphysical thing. It goes from your spirit to your brain, to your body. It's everything together. As you said, Jimmy, it is really important that you are at ease with yourself and that you progress. I wrote, I just finished my second book, and I published my second book, which tells about all my transition. And there you can see a lot of the power of belief, because when you transition, at least that's how I wrote my book, I started with my mind. I started to understand that there was something which was not correct. It was called gender dysphoria. And then from them, it went to changing all my personality and becoming my real self. I was always a woman. I just had, a wrong packing somehow. So I had to create my packing in such a way. But do you know the guts that it takes? I mean, it takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of, and all of the people here in this panel know exactly what it is. Today, I just had actually a very interesting day, because I spoke with someone which I have not spoken for over 20 years. He went to secondary school with me, and he wrote a book. And we are very active in the same school. And a friend of mine told Ella, "Can you help this guy, because he's just published his book and he wants some tips?" So I gave him some tips. And then after, 1 hour conversation, he said, "It's funny, I don't put you together. I don't remember you exactly." And I said, "Oh, yes, you do." It's just, I've changed. And I told him who I was before. And he said, "Oh, of course, I remember you completely, But this is the power of belief. It is the power within you that changed. And you have to have sometimes the guts to tell what happened. And that's the way it goes. But believe in yourself, grow, be yourself, because how can you accept the world if you cannot accept yourself? That's what I have to say.
That's incredible.
Awesome.
You know, with when you said the package that you came in, it resonated with me. It kind of like made me think about like it's just like when you get something like a gift in the mail and it's in a package container. I'm not looking forward to the cardboard box. I'm looking forward to like what's in the box, like the gift that's inside. And that's, you know, I mean, I'm thankful that the cardboard box protected what was inside and it did its job. So that's almost like what I was before allowed me to get to this point. Like it almost like was a protective, I guess, I don't know. It's like when you're getting prepared, when a butterfly is getting prepared in their cocoon, like it's a phase, and then it allows the caterpillar to transform and get to its destination with its wings and everything. And I guess that's kind of like what I thought about it when you said package. Like that's what we originally came in was something that didn't totally
Match
what
our
was
insights.
inside.
Correct. Yeah. I just would like to add something to my little words. Throughout my life, and you know, I'm over 60, so I'm not a young chick anymore. But throughout my life, everything that I believed on and I dreamt always came through. It doesn't come in the second. Sometimes it takes years to come. And I think there's still some kind of, you know, some things which are still open. But everything came true.
And speaking of delayed gratification, right before we even started the chat today, Raji was trying to get in and was having technical difficulties. I guess maybe the Wi-Fi was, being her enemy today, but she kept on pushing through and made it through, and now
We're all together.
get to hear about Raji's story with her power belief. Let's hear it, Raji.
I'm here. I'm here.
Did you believe you were going to make it?
Determination pays off. So, what was that? What did you say?
Did you believe? Did you have faith that you were going to make it?
Oh, yeah. I had faith. I believed that I was going to make it. So first, I want to recommend yeah, I am. Thank God. So first, I want to recognize or recommend a really good documentary that I saw on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and it's called The Journey of Man, A Genetic Odyssey. So it was so good. I just said, let me click on this, and I ended up staying glued to it and watching the whole thing in one sitting. He was very thorough. He's a genetic scientist, and he talked about how you take the genetics and you trace it all the way back to our existence as mankind. And the science shows, that we've been here for about 400,000 years. It was about 50,000 years ago when people, the human beings that existed on the planet, Homo sapiens, were in the part of the world that we call Africa now. But at that time, the world was very different. Continents were connected and the waters weren't as deep and all of that. So, that saying, it was before race and religion and any of that, because what happened, he shows through the bloodline that, the first group of people that started to want to venture out, like, they were in this area for a very long time. And then there was like a group that decided, well, hey, let's, venture out and see what's what. They had to believe, they had to believe that there was something beyond what they knew. And so he tracked it all the way. They kind of went to the right and they went into Asia, the part of the world that we know as Asia now. And he tracked them all the way over to Australia. They walked all the way over to Australia, okay? And these are what we know now as the Aborigines. The interesting thing is that he had a conversation with the Aborigines, and they strongly believe that they are from that land. They're from Australia, and they are the indigenous people of that land. So he didn't argue with them. He respected people's stories and people's beliefs and that sort of thing. But the genetics don't lie. And well, let's hope they don't lie. He took blood from the Aborigines, and it traced back to these people in Africa, because there's still a tribe there that were the first, that the genetics show were the first human beings, and they're called the Sand Bushmen people. And so these Aborigines had DNA from the Sand Bushmen people, but they didn't have, when he did the blood from the Sand Bushmen people, they didn't have any Aborigine blood. So it shows that they were the original, DNA or bloodline. And it was so interesting, because what he did in the whole documentary is he showed over time the different groups that went to different parts of the world and became the Asian people that we know, and the white or Anglo people that we know, and the Native American people. And if you look at these Bushman Sand people, the features, you can see their features in just about every single race and culture in the world. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And they're not dark and they're not light. They're in the middle, and it shows that, the science shows that over time, because of climate and, environment, people started to change. That's why we all look, there's different types of looking human beings. I didn't get on the whole thing of the Neanderthals. I still don't understand that aspect. But then I started to think, after I watched the video, I said to myself, okay, so I believe in God. And I said, well, why can't God and science be connected? Because whether we're 10,000 years old, 5,000 years old, 50,000 years old, 400,000 years old, there had to be some sort of divine godlike energy source that sparked us into existence. So then I started thinking about all the religions of the world and the religious stories. And I said to myself, well, okay, maybe if science shows that maybe some of the stories aren't true, some may be true, some may be half true, religion and I would say tradition of religion had a very important role in our mankind, because I believe what it did is it got us to gravel with right and wrong, with morals, and with doing the right thing, and with believing in what, something bigger than yourself, believing in others. And so, I found it very interesting, because it all kind of had a place, and then I started to think about our minds, like we human beings. And in the documentary, you saw these human beings traveling thousands of miles, walking in conditions that, none of us would know today because of all the technology.
Yeah,
but I realized,
with a full
my
outfit
goodness,
and hiker boots.
the mind, yeah, and no clothes, no shoes.
Some people can't even walk for 1 mile.
No getting in a car. So, but what that said to me is that our minds are so powerful, and we have the ability to create. We can come up with ideas and focus on it and work to manifest it. And, and so the mind, and saying that in connection with belief, and I've seen it in my life, when you believe in something and you put your energy into it, it's real, it becomes alive, you spark it into existence, and it starts to manifest. And so it's so funny, when I heard the topic for the show today, I was like, oh my God, because this whole week I've been vibing on that documentary and our existence and our minds and how we, you know, when you look at the legacy of us, we are all living legacies of people that were like, you know, thousands of thousands, or are thousands of thousands of years old. And it shows that these people and we had to believe and have that faith for us to still be here, for us to still be human beings existing here on the planet, living lives. And you know, so I just think that for my life personally, what I've seen, and Ella, you said something interesting, and it resonated with me. You said that, you know, you're 16 years old.
60.
You're 60 years old. I'm messing with you.
I'm over 60 years old. It's gone a long time ago.
And all your life, when you have focused on something and believed in it, it's manifested. It might not be it might not take, you know, happen in a day or two. It might take years. But I that is the same thing for me. There's things that I believed and I wanted, and it took a while. It didn't happen overnight. But when I sit down and think of my life and the journey that I've had, even though I'm only 21. No, but when I think of my life, I can see how strong and powerful belief is. I really can. How strong and powerful it is, and how it has really been one of the core things within us as spirits of the universe living the human experience, to be able to go from the caves to the computers.
Absolutely.
Roger, that's
Was I
Well
too
said,
much for
well
you
said,
all?
Will. Well
no,
said.
I actually wrote down the name of the documentary, so I can't wait to have a deeper discussion about it with you. That sounds like really incredible. Yeah, I'm gonna
Bonnie, you're looking so beautiful over there.
Yeah, and speaking of Bonnie, you know, I've heard, you know, different stories that you've told me, Bonnie, and you know, thinking about like the power of belief, like the one thing that comes to my mind, like that jumps right out, was this one story that you told me. You envisioned the boat that you wanted, and how you would, like, you know, not like to like strengthen that vision, you would go over to the what is it, the fair,
The boat show,
the show, yeah, the boat show, and it almost is like, it's almost like you were reaching out and like, you know, maybe touching it, and then you slowly like were able to like hug the boat, and you were able to, like, you know, jump inside of it, and like before you knew it, you were on the water with it. So I would love to hear your you know, how did you come to, I mean, if you want to share that story, but I would like to know, like, you know, if you're able to tell, like, how did you even come to that strategy to do that?
well, it was like this. Basically, I had dreamed about this boat, and I went 4 consecutive years to the boat show. And the boat show, I think, is 5 days long, and I probably was there 3 times every boat show. And I went on the boat, and I spent maybe an hour, hour and a half, and I visualized myself driving it. I visualized myself as actually owning it. I visualized myself sleeping up in the front in the berth. I visualized sitting in the salon. I visualized myself on the fly bridge. And when you talk about belief, belief is more than just oh, I believe in this. No, you have to actually experience it from the levels of reality as if it's already manifested. And I was on that boat and I was touching it and I was feeling it. I had no idea how I would get that boat. I had no idea how this was ever going to be there. But on the 4th year, when I went there, I was wearing a patch that said owner, Blue Water. And when they saw me come walking up, I mean, they knew exactly who I was. They knew my passion, and they had me help them sell a couple boats because, you know, I just believed in it. But my point is, it's like Shannon was talking about the fire. There's more than one thing that you need for the fire. Belief is more than just believing. It's being able to believe that you can touch it, you can feel it, you can achieve it, you can do it, you can manifest it, you can accomplish it. And it's not like there's doubt. It's a belief that it's going to happen. I had no idea how that boat was going to happen. I had no idea how, whatever. But you know what? The belief, the universe, it's like when you were young and maybe you wanted a bicycle or you wanted something and it was like out of reach that it wasn't going to happen. But when you were young, you believed, then all of a sudden, somehow it manifested. Well, that's belief is a lot more than just the word. It's the actual subconsciously, as if you can touch it. The belief is if you've already achieved it. The belief that when you do your visualization, you can do more than just see it. You can actually, as if you can touch it. And when you have belief like that, it's like you vibrate with the universe, and the vibration that you're sending out to the universe is hearing that vibration and it brings it back to you. And the boat is just one example, but there's been many things in my life that I believed in, and I believed that I could do it. And I believed on a higher level than just, oh yeah, I can do that. No. I did visualization. I did everything from practical, like on the boat, it was real that I could go on there and touch it. Or if I wanted to do something, I experienced it on a level more than just, oh yeah, I can do that. It wasn't a whim. It was a belief, and like a religion, a belief, and it manifested because I believed it.
But you probably also paired your belief and desire with like even if you weren't like the top captain or anything, like when you first initially desired it, you probably went out there and started to research and maybe started reading some books or hanging out with people that were fishermen and did have a boat, and then like started to increase your, I guess, experience around that very thing that you wanted.
Close to 5 years of it, okay?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's like, it's almost like you kept refueling your belief and even strengthening it, like starting the fire, but you are still, you might have a little spark, but you got to feed that fire. You got to keep feeding it, and then it gets more and more powerful.
It's the same thing as my transition. You know, I just believed, although I thought it would never happen or be able to accomplish it or be able to get past a certain point, but it was more than, it was a want along with the belief. And you can see it, you can achieve it, but you have to be able to see it in your mind.
Absolutely. And it comes in waves, right? Comes in waves, sometimes very strong, and then it goes back, and then it comes back, right?
Every bit of it. I mean, it's almost like a way of life. I mean, if you believe, and I'm talking about, okay, I went on my boat and I did this and I did that, and I was involved in all kinds of other stuff, and with the transition, you know, I mean, it goes on and on and on. But what I'm trying to say is, it's like every day you get up, and that's what you work towards and you strive, and at the end of the day, you're one step closer to where you want to be. And then all of a sudden, it's like you know, they say you take the stairwell one step at a time. Before you know it, you're all up on top. Well, it's the same thing. It might take a year, it might take 5, but what I'm trying to say is if you take one little step and every day you make a little bit of progress and you keep working towards your belief, it will materialize. And sometimes it'll materialize on a higher level than you even expected.
Exactly.
True,
Exactly.
it's true.
And you know what it comes down to? You know when they say you have to see it to believe it? No, it's the other way around. You have to believe it to see
To
it.
achieve it.
To see it. You have to believe it to see it. And Jimmy, I just wanted to say, I love that. I forgot to mention it. I loved the writing that you read for us. That was really powerful too. Oh my God.
Thank you.
I think we've all like really hit on some deep stuff today, my gosh.
I do want to say one last thing, and then we want to finish up. I was kind of inspired when Bonnie was saying about her transition, how you know, you had to like, you know, see it in your mind's eye, and then we mentioned the action steps and like taking one step at a time, according to like your level of belief and stuff. And like the end goal is to get to the very top of the staircase, but I have to at least be able to see myself in the next step. And when I was transitioning, before I, you know, became this big hunk of man that you see before you, I had to, I had to, you know, see other people's examples and kind of like read up on the type of man that I wanted to be, and just the personality that I wanted to have, and the qualities and characteristics, the values, all these things that I was kind of like just playing around with, just trying to see, like, get a taste of it, see if I liked it or not, see if I wanted more of it or not, and then I would continue to absorb that knowledge into myself and keep practicing it. And before I knew it, I got really, I guess, good at each part of my transition. Like, how do I break it up, like into steps on a staircase? How do I break that up? Like, I guess for me, the very first thing I did was I tried to work on my appearance, so that when I was out in public, I cut my hair off, and then I kind of like, you know, started to fade into the background of all the other guys and stuff, and my voice would give me away, and they'd be like, how can I help you, sir? And I'd be like, hi, you know, like, so, you know, I would have to work on that. That's the next step that I wanted to work on, because I recognized, like, oh, okay, well, that's something that I'm not, you know, digging right now. So if I want to get to the next level of my transition, then I have to work on that next. And that's kind of like how I kept moving forward with that power belief of like getting to the top of the staircase, and always have that in my mind's eye.
Belief is important,
step at a time.
but reinforcement. When I first started transitioning, I took pictures every month. And although it was like, I'm never going to get there, but after 6 months, and I compared, after 12 months, I compared, after 24 months, but by seeing the difference and making the progress, it made it more believable than just saying, oh, I'm going to do this. That's what the steps are all about. Like the pictures that I took, it was gradual forms of reinforcement that I was going to achieve my goals of getting to where I wanted to be. Same situation. You have to do reinforcement along with the belief, as well as taking action, as well as manifesting, but believing and actually creating it. And to be able to visually look at progress, like I was saying with the pictures and everything, it made it all believable, because I could say, wow, there is a difference. That's all.
Awesome, Bonnie. And I just want to close with this, that the Christian, when we get to the top of the staircase, when we look around, we see yet another staircase.
Yes.
Our goals, in order for a person to continue our journey, our goals must be elusive. They must be elusive, just beyond grasp. And when our goals and our staircases and our vision that we have for ourselves, when we achieve a certain goal, then there's always another one. As we advance through life, our goals also advance ahead of us. And that's what gives us fuel, that motivates us, that keeps us inspired, that inspires the innovation and new ways of thinking. And that's how we continue to unwrap ourselves. There's layer upon layer upon layer, the unwrapping of the human experience. Our goals are continually elusive, and that keeps us moving forward.
True, yeah.
I love that. It's like a video game. You know, like it's almost like, I guess, just like a silly way to think about it. Like when you first start a video game, you like have to learn the controls, like how to punch somebody and how to kick. But then once you get through that orientation stage, now it's time to test your abilities. And like, in order for you to like get to the second level, you have to like master those little abilities that you learn right in the beginning. And like, in order for us to climb the stairs, we have to learn how to crawl first. We have to learn to progressively, you know, walk. Then we, you know, step up and have the strength to do that. That's kind of cool. But thank you everybody for tuning in to Trans Gurus. And what is, you know, down in the comments, what is a moment in your life that you use the power of belief to manifest? There's got to be something in your life that you have used your instinct, your intuition, your gut, your mental picture of the future to manifest with.
That would be Christian, hold on. That would be this moment right here, right now.
That's right.